Wait till you see this humongous bridge. We're talking about real state-of-the-art here.
Yeah.
My name is Pedro. I'm the third officer on board, and I'm from the beautiful country of Norway, so I'm glad to have you here. So now we are on the bridge wing on the starboard side. This is where we do most of our most technical maneuvers, like going alongside, anchoring, and so on. Here on the deck is completely safe to stand on. It's not dangerous. What we use this for is actually for positioning. I would love you to show you the port side, but they are just monitoring the lines there at the moment. But for example, when we are going to piers that we know, or whatever, we can put a mark on the pier for positioning of the ship. Gangways, we also need to be careful of obstructions. And most important of all, we have green is here is what we call a multifunction display. And by that I mean, like, this system is a multifunction display, but what you see here now is our chart. Before we had regular paper charts. We don't have that anymore on board. Actually, when we were sailing down in South America, we actually used paper charts because then we don't have proper charts, online charts. But here we have. We can also put on what we call a radar. I don't know if you've seen this antenna on top of the ship going around. That's our radar. So you will see it's off now, so that it will not detect anything. But a radar sends pulses, and whenever that pulse hit anything, it will send a reflective back. So if the radar was on, hopefully it will show. If you remember the chart, it will show as just on as the chart was. It will show the ground and the line. It will show the shoreline. You see here. This is our ship here. This is our ship.
Yep.
This is our bow. This is this way. For example, these triangles here is vessels you see here in front of us. The traditional rudders. We have two bow thrusters forward and one bow thruster astern. These are sideways propellers fixed under the keel. So they are there to help us during the sideways movement. So let's say we are 10 meters from the dock, we can use this to help move sideways for positioning. And all the equipment you see here is what can I say, is more or less the same as we have in the center console and also the port side. To open up the gangway and let people out, that we're saying that we are a healthy ship. But we also have some, for example, we have this hotel, we have it up and we have a pilot on board. So there's certain flags that gives us, that's a different meaning.
What about the countries?
Every country we go to, we need to put up the country flag in a small mast. Yes, it's more or less a requirement.
Really?
Yes. In every country, we, especially like when we're in the Mediterranean or when we have a new country every day, the deck watch need to come up and pick up the correct flag and put it up before we arrive. Two stabilizers, one on each side of the ship. They work more or less like airplane wings. They are 5 meters long, 2-3 meters wide, quite big. So what they do is to encounter sideways rolling. Very good with sideways rolling. We also have a lot of other buttons there. I don't know if you've seen these old telegraphs when you put head and a stern, and then they receives it in the ECR and they reply by doing the same. We don't have that, but we have buttons that says full ahead and full astern and everything in between. So in case of a full blackout, we can steer from this. Also an autopilot. This joystick you see here. This is our autopilot. So in normal operation we steer with this one. It can do it by itself, but it's only based on what we tell it to do. So, which means that it cannot encounter wind or drift by itself. It's all based on our instructions. So we need to put it in and calculate all the time, and we are very glad we're not going out.
I am. I'm very glad.
It's a good thing. Safety first always. But
He said the waves are building up to 20 meters, 60 feet.
So the wind at that time was 50, 60 knots. Now they cannot remember last time it was this kind of weather.
That's got to be hurricane force, right?
It is hurricane force.
Yes, hurricane. So it's of course the ship will be safe and we will manage if we ended up in it. But the ship like itself will of course manage, but the inside we will have it will be a mess. It will be not good. It will not, and it will be dangerous for you. It will have a high shakings and we will be a bit. Had a violent storm and now it's below hurricane. On our port side, we have just the
Captain came out and said, we're not going anywhere. We've got hurricane force winds out there on the sea.
Not to disturb this is the brain of the ship. If anything happens, whatever situation we can encounter or that occur from fire, flooding, grounding, whatever, this is where we're going to control it and handle the situation. So today we had the weekly fire and abandoned ship drill. So all the key personnel, they gather here. There's staff captain, chief engineer, chief officer, and so on. They gather here, and they have their own tasks. But then together we can find out how we're going to solve the situation. So it's an important room. We have this big iPad, or what we call it, and due to crowd management, we have what we call silent alarms. There's a lot of stuff happening here, but the most important thing for us is to never create panic or create make sure that people are always secure and never feel unsafe. We have got, for example, now it's not around 5, 6, 7 on this time. We always get, for example, a smoke alarm from the galley. It's always making food. So it appears like this. You will see it there as well. So it appears like this.
Look at the galley. He was back
Then
there.
you get, this is a smoke detector. So you see
Main galley.
the red
Right?
one here is the temperature. And the black one, it will show that you already see something. The black one is smoke. Maybe when they make their bacon or everything they're cooking. And the temperature is, of course, always usually it's quite steady, but now main galley is it's a warm place. So let's say if you get this fire alarm, I call the fireman by the radio. That we always have one fireman on watch. He's doing so during the night. He's going safety rounds and checking all the ship always. Given the location of the smoke detectors that are active, and then I go into the smoke detector, check. Then the first thing I check is the temperature. It's steady. It's a good sign. It's no fire. But the smoke can be everywhere. It can be everything from cooking. It can be steam from the dryer, steam from washing machine. It can be spray, washing. It can be everything. Then I go to the nearest camera, CCTV. It's a part of the main galley. So the first thing I'm looking for is there any headless chickens? Anyone running? Anyone with the fire blankets?
Yeah.
This is a good sign. There's nothing happening. So now I'm quite sure it's nothing. But I'm not allowed to reset the alarm before the fire watch has been there himself. Very important that we have someone physically there, visually having a look at it. Because there can be a fire without people noticing. There's a high volume there. So important to check. And also from here, we can close down the whole ship. All watertight doors, all fire doors, everything we can close from here. That's what we did now today when during the drill. Yeah. So the ship is divided into 5 fire zones. So and also on board we have 5 fire team. They are in each fire zone and all on different decks. So let's say we have a fire in one area, we still have or should have 4. We use a lot of water. We need a lot of water, and due to pollution, it's of course in an environment we need to know where to discharge it and how to discharge it. It's a very important task that we always calculate the water. At least in Norway, since we have a very good cleaning system, we can discharge it. Or but some countries, some places, we need to store it. And then, of course, if we're going to stay 2 days, we cannot have too much on board because then we will have a. So the first thing you will notice if we go out at sea, and we have some rough seas coming, we will take out the pools, remove the unnecessary water on board. And also, of course, the pools are high up, And instability is very important to keep the high weights down. We will head out whenever we can, but of course, for us, with regards to the purpose of the bridge, we're very lucky. It would be bad if we stayed in Bergen. Bergen is nice. Working with the anchor and steering between the drums. So always work ongoing here. There, see the starboard anchor.
One of the things that he mentioned was that it is safer in the open sea than amongst the fjords, that the fjords are much more dangerous. I sure didn't know that.